The bell above the door jingled when the little girl walked in. Her thin coat was soaked with melting snow, and her worn-out shoes left wet marks across the polished floor of the bakery. She approached the counter timidly, clutching the broken zipper of her jacket as if it were a charm that could give her courage. "Ma'am?" Her voice came out almost as a whisper. "Do you have any piece of cake that's already expired? You know, old stuff? It's my birthday today." The attendant froze. Customers turned to look. Silence fell. And from a table nearby, a millionaire woman held her cup of coffee in midair, stunned. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in people who still step up when the world turns away, take a moment to like, comment, and share this video. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because what you're about to see will restore your faith in humanity. We'd love to know, where are you watching from? Comment below with your country and region, and let us celebrate the kindness that connects us all. Now, let's begin. New York glowed like a spectacle of lights that pre-Christmas week. Storefronts shimmered in extravagant golds, the streets overflowed with excited tourists, and the sounds of bells and holiday music echoed everywhere. It was the time of year when the city seemed to radiate abundance, magic, and ironically, the time when its shadows revealed those who lived far from that abundance. Sofia Alvarez, 7 years old, was one of those small figures rushing along crowded sidewalks, always holding her mother's hand as if the world itself were something she needed to be protected from. A daughter of Latin immigrants, she lived with her mother, Camila, in a single rented basement room in the Bronx. The place had leaks, smelled of mold, and the heater barely worked. But it was all they could afford. Camila cleaned houses, taking as many long shifts as she could, sometimes working overnight just to keep food on the table and rent paid. Sofia's father had disappeared years earlier. One day he promised to come back with presents, sweets, a better life, and then vanished forever. Since then, the girl grew up with the bitter feeling of abandonment and the quiet resilience of a mother who carried the world alone. That week, Camila had lost one of her regular cleaning jobs because of a severe cold. Their already tight budget became almost non-existent. She tried to hide from Sofia that she couldn't afford anything special for her birthday. But children notice. And Sofia noticed. Her 7th birthday arrived on the same day the snow fell heavily and Camila grew too sick to get out of bed. Sofia knew she shouldn't ask for anything. All she wanted was something small, a piece of cake. Not a big one, not a pretty one. Any piece. Any crumb. Any tiny sweet taste that could make the day feel a little less like every other day. So she walked alone to the bakery. Her steps were short, her breath came out in faint clouds of vapor. She pushed the door with more effort than a child should ever need and stepped inside, leaving the cold street behind. And then she asked the question that broke hearts. Any expired cake? At the nearby table sat Eleanor Beaumont, a woman who carried a kind of elegance that required no effort. She was a millionaire, heiress to a luxury hotel chain, known in New York high society for attending charity events, yet keeping a comfortable emotional distance from everything and everyone. She had money, recognition, comfort, but no one. A widow with no children, an estranged sister living far away, Eleanor lived surrounded by success and still felt an emptiness growing inside her like an endless winter. That morning, she had planned to stop by the bakery for a coffee and a pastry before checking off a list of holiday obligations. But everything shifted the moment she heard the girl's question. Something broke open inside her, like someone had knocked on a door within her that she hadn't opened in years. Eleanor stood up immediately. "Sweetheart, come here for a moment," she called, her soft voice surprising even the bakery staff. Sofia looked hesitant, frightened, embarrassed, but she obeyed. The woman smiled, crouched to be at eye level, and said, "You don't need to ask for expired cake. Today is your birthday, and no one deserves that on their birthday. How about we do something different?" Sofia's brown eyes glimmered, but insecurity made her look away. I don't have money, ma'am." "I know, my dear. But I do." and Eleanor held out her hand. That was the beginning. She took the girl to the counter and ordered the most beautiful cake in the bakery. A tall one, layered with chocolate, cream, and fresh strawberries, the kind Sophia only admired through glass and never dreamed of tasting. As the clerk wrapped it up, Eleanor asked gently, "May I know your name?" "Sophia," she whispered. "Sophia Alvarez." "And how old are you turning today?" 7. Eleanor smiled. 7 is such a lovely age. "Tell me, where's your family?" Sophia took a deep breath. She wasn't used to talking to strangers, but there was warmth in that voice that felt safe. "It's just me and my mom," she said. "She's sick today. I wanted a little piece of cake for us to share, but I didn't have money and—" The tear that slipped down her cheek before she finished made Eleanor's chest tighten. "Sweetheart, do you live far from here?" "In the Bronx." "And does your mother know you came?" The girl hesitated. "I told her I was going to see the Christmas lights," she admitted, ashamed. That was the moment Eleanor realized she wasn't witnessing a sad situation. She was witnessing a life. A fragile life, neglected, tucked inside the hidden corners of a city that shines only for some. She took Sophia's hand. "Let's buy you a present too, all right?" Sophia's eyes widened. "A present? For me?" "Of course, my dear. Today is your day." They went to a small toy shop nearby. Eleanor told her to choose whatever she wanted. Sophia didn't move, not out of indecision, but disbelief. She touched the toys carefully, as if she feared breaking them just by looking. In the end, she chose something simple, a brown-skinned doll in a red dress with a small Christmas bow. While paying, Eleanor knelt beside her and asked, "Sophia, may I take you home? I'd like to meet your mother and help you both, if she agrees." The girl bit her lip, nervous. "You won't be mad at her?" "Of course not. I only want to help." The taxi ride to the Bronx was long. They passed luxury districts, then working-class neighborhoods, and finally narrow alleys where the city seemed to forget to turn on its lights. They reached the building. The staircase was tight, damp, smelling of old mold. Sophia opened the door. Camila, pale and lying down, sat up in alarm when she saw her daughter with a stranger. "Dios mío! Sophia, where were you?" she cried, trying to stand. "I was terrified." "Mama, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I wanted to find a little piece of cake for my birthday." The shame, fear, and love packed into that sentence shattered something inside all of them. Eleanor stepped forward. "Camila, forgive me for showing up unannounced. But your daughter, she touched me deeply today. I bought her a cake and a present, and I would like, if you allow me, to help you this Christmas." Camila covered her mouth, overwhelmed. Was this humiliating? Was it a blessing? It was everything at once. "I don't know how to thank you," she whispered. "I always try to give her everything, but—" "I know," Eleanor said, with a firm tenderness. "And you are a wonderful mother. But no one should have to fight alone." Something invisible wove itself between the three of them then. A bond. A thread of light in the darkness of that basement room. Eleanor stayed the entire afternoon. She helped tidy the place, bought groceries, arranged medicine, called a doctor friend to check on Camila, fixed the heater, brought warm blankets. Slowly, the tiny basement room filled with the smell of chocolate, the sound of laughter, and the rare feeling of home. When they lit the candle on the cake, Sophia closed her eyes tightly and made a silent wish. No one heard it, but Eleanor felt something inside herself, an aching desire to protect that child forever. Later, as the night settled, Sophia fell asleep hugging her new doll. Camila, still emotional, murmured, "I don't understand why a woman like you would do this for us." Eleanor smiled, sad and whole at the same time. "Because I needed to remember that there's still something good in me. And because, sometimes, we find family where we least expect." Camila cried. Eleanor held her. In the days that followed, she returned. She helped. She brought food, medicines, clothes, found a better daycare for Sophia, guided Camila toward better job opportunities. Slowly, she became more than a visitor, she became warmth in the middle of winter. Then, a week before Christmas, while walking together through a glittering Times Square, Sophia squeezed her hand and asked, "Will you be my godmother?" There was no hesitation, no doubt, no distance wide enough. "Of course I will, my love," Eleanor answered, her voice trembling. "I'd be the most honored woman in the world." Sophia smiled so brightly it seemed to outshine every light around them. And that Christmas, Eleanor discovered something money had never been able to buy: purpose. Connection. Watching Sophia run around the tiny room, laughing with her new doll, while Camila prepared hot chocolate with renewed hope in her eyes, Eleanor understood. The little girl who once asked for expired cake had given her something she didn't even know she needed. A reason to believe she could make a difference. And for the first time in many years, she didn't feel alone. Not that Christmas. Not ever again.